The Maybach screeched like a bat out of hell. Ethan, who almost had its tire marks tattooed on his face, heaved a sigh of relief and hugged the little bundle of fur close to his chest, happy they both were alive. "Do you have a death wish?" came a voice from somewhere above. Ethan looked up at a vision in white. She was beautiful, with blonde hair and flashing gray eyes, an angel with a Vegas showgirl figure. "Am I in heaven?" Ethan muttered, dazed. "I'll send you straight to hell. Why did you choose my car to die under?" The angel thundered, and Ethan managed to stagger to his feet. "Look here, lady, I should get you arrested for almost running over this dog," he said, almost waving Bounty in her face. Bounty tried licking her. "You keep that filthy thing away from me. You almost died for that," the blonde said dangerously. That's when Bounty, the Shih Tzu, leapt at her and licked her right in the face. She screamed. Ethan lunged and only managed to smash noses with the showgirl angel. That was the picture that went viral with the caption, "Horny StoneTech CEO smooches pet cafe waiter after fleeing her own wedding." Arya Stone stood facing her board, jaws tight. They were blaming her for loss of face, when it was her face that disgusting dog had slobbered all over. "You left the wedding for this? You are too wild. You can't lead us." Arya was sick of this. She wanted to tell them the real reason she fled the wedding. Julian Vale, whom she thought she loved, was planning a takeover coup with their marriage, merging his Zenith Corp and her StoneTech and basically owning it all. But how could she say anything? Because there stood Julian, eyes glittering, waiting for her to make a mistake and call him out. Arya fumed. Why did she have to marry anyway? Would that make her a better leader? Marriage shows commitment, and only a committed leader can lead StoneTech. The board was unflinching. She knew it was Julian who was pulling the strings, so she did the only thing she could think of. "I love him, the guy in the pic. You want me to marry? I will marry, but not Julian Vale. I'll marry him." Ethan Cruz didn't expect to be summoned to a private rooftop lounge in a designer suit he didn't own. Yet here he was, confused, broke, and sitting across from the angel showgirl, who looked like a Vogue cover had come to life today. Arya Stone, CEO of StoneTech. Beautiful, brilliant, unsmiling. "You'll marry me," she said, like she was ordering a coffee. Ethan nearly choked on his complimentary cucumber water. "I don't even know you." She arched an eyebrow. "That's not true. I know you." Ethan gulped. "I read your file. NYU valedictorian, volunteered for the Red Cross, could have joined UNICEF but chose to be a server at a pet cafe. No clear ambition except operating your own animal shelter. No criminal record, excellent bone structure, and you once stopped a cat from falling off a 6th-floor balcony." He gawked. That cat was ungrateful, by the way. She slid a thick contract across the table. "Fake marriage, 1 year. You play husband, smile for the press, and I save my company's board from their prehistoric ideals. And yeah, at the end of it, your animal shelter becomes a reality." "Why me?" Ethan asked, wary. "You're broke, good-looking, and have no reason to fall in love with me." Ethan smirked. "Where do I sign?" The Stone Cruz wedding was basically every high-profile wedding ever. Top-rated venue, check. Celebrity guest list, check. Designer outfits, check. Paparazzi brigade, check. Ethan stood near a priest he didn't know and watched as Arya walked down the aisle by herself. They both didn't have family to celebrate this fake proud day. "You look beautiful," Ethan whispered to his bride-to-be. "You don't have to say that," Arya replied, warily. "Well, you do, and there is no extra charge for this comment," Ethan joked. But his eyes were soft to her vulnerability. "Miss Stone, do you take this man, Ethan Cruz, in sickness?" "I do," Arya hurriedly cut off the priest, earning a bewildered look from him. "Mr. Ethan Cruz, do you take this woman—" "Thank you, Father, but I prepared my own vows." Arya's pulse quickened at Ethan's declaration. This was not part of the plan. Arya, when I first laid eyes on you, I pictured you in a wedding dress. In your eyes, I see the faces of our children, our future. To the world, you might be CEO, but today I make you CEO of my heart. I love you, my darling, and I'll be with you forever. There were gasps and smiles at Ethan's words. Arya smiled a fake smile, especially so the board of Stone Tech could see. But her heart skipped a beat as she looked into Ethan's sincere, loving gray eyes. The morning after the wedding of the century, Ethan Cruz found himself in a penthouse with a better view than his entire future. Arya Stone sat poised at the breakfast island, dressed in a power suit sharp enough to cut steel. Without looking up, she slid a heavy binder across the marble. "What's this, your autobiography?" Ethan asked, sipping orange juice like a man with nothing left to lose. "Your new Bible," she replied. "Read it. It's the rulebook of our marriage." He opened the leather-bound tome. Clause 12, no physical intimacy. Clause 38, scheduled public appearances. Clause 57B, no unsolicited touching. He whistled. "So basically, no feelings, no flirting, and definitely no fun?" Arya didn't blink. "Exactly." Ethan kept flipping, then froze. Clause 78C, he said, eyes narrowing. "If you get pregnant during the contract, I'm legally obligated to give the baby my last name?" Arya finally looked up, visibly startled. "What? Why would I? There's no touching." Ethan leaned forward, mock serious. "Maybe it's divine intervention. By God's grace. These things happen." She stared. "That's biologically impossible." He winked. "Tell that to Clause 78C. Arya grabbed the binder back, muttering, "I need to fire legal." Ethan laughed. "Relax, boss lady, I'm joking. Unless you want a miracle baby storyline." She didn't smile, but her eyebrow twitched. Just a little. Ethan adjusted his bow tie for the 6th time. "Why does this thing feel like a noose?" "Because it is," Arya replied, looking breathtaking in an emerald gown. "For your freedom." He offered his arm. "You wound me, wife." "You'll survive. Just keep your mouth shut and your face pretty." As they stepped onto the red carpet, flashes exploded. Ethan squinted. "I feel like I'm in a microwave set to paparazzi." A reporter shouted, "How did the two of you fall in love?" Arya smiled gracefully. Ethan didn't. "She rescued me from a burning building," he said solemnly. "She did not," Arya hissed. "She gave me CPR. Shut up, Ethan." She used tongue. She stepped on his foot, hard. "We met at a business conference," she said to the cameras. "He spilled coffee on my presentation." "Love at first stain," Ethan added. They posed like royalty, but Ethan accidentally dipped her in front of photographers. She gasped. Cameras went berserk. Back in the limo, Arya glared. "You dipped me. You dipped first, emotionally." "Never again." "I make no promises. I'm a natural dipper." She hid a smile, barely. The investor gala was so elegant, Ethan felt like he should tip the chandeliers. Everything glittered, including Arya, dressed in gold like a walking stock market spike. "Smile, be charming, and please no Greek mythology jokes this time," she warned. Ethan saluted. "Understood. Tonight, I'm your silent, sparkly husband." He did well. Until an investor asked, "Ethan, what's your take on Stone Tech's fiscal strategy?" He opened his mouth. Arya panicked. "He believes in emotional dividends," she interrupted. Ethan blinked. "Which I pay? In hugs?" The investors chuckled. The board noticed. Arya wanted to teleport him to the moon. Later, near the chocolate fountain, "You humiliated me," Ethan said. "You nearly compared our quarterly profits to Zeus's lightning bolts last time." "I had a metaphor. It was sexy and powerful. She crossed her arms. You're not here to impress. You're here to smile. I'm not a cardboard cutout, Arya. You're a placeholder husband. That stung, even through the banter. Ethan picked up a champagne glass. Well then, here's to being your overpriced mannequin. She paused. You do look good in a suit. He blinked. Was that a compliment? She walked away, flustered. Rain lashed the penthouse windows like a jealous ex. Power flickered, Wi-Fi died, and Arya Stone, queen of control, was trapped with Ethan and 0 Zoom calls. I ordered room service, Ethan said, holding up a tray like a game show prize. Menu included fries, sarcasm, and mild emotional chaos. Arya didn't look up from her tablet. Don't tell me you're refreshing the stock market during a thunderstorm, he teased. She finally spoke, her voice softer than usual. I'm looking at something else. Ethan peeked, an old news article. A teenage Arya standing beside a coffin, drenched in cameras and pity. The headline, Stone Tech heir left orphaned. Is she ready to lead? Ethan froze. Whoa. Arya exhaled. My father passed away during a merger. The board tried to replace me as a graduation present, so I became untouchable. Cold, perfect, married. Ah, and here I thought you married me for my devastating cheekbones. She cracked a smile. Those were an unexpected bonus. He nudged a fry toward her. You don't have to be perfect with me, you know. I can't afford to be soft. You can with fries, he whispered dramatically. She took one. He gasped. We're bonding. Alert the tabloids. Arya Stone ran her penthouse like a military base. Silent, strict, and emotionally sterile. The staff moved like ghosts. Efficient, invisible, unbothered. And then there was Ethan. Morning, Jeeves, he chirped to the butler, who paused mid-silver polish. Or do you prefer Lord Latte? It's Charles. Well, Charles, Ethan grinned, teach me the secret of these magical hash browns and I'll name my firstborn after you. The housekeeper laughed, from the hallway. By noon, Ethan was hosting an apron-clad omelet showdown in the kitchen. The chef taught him how to flambe. Ethan nearly set the curtains on fire. The housekeeper slipped him cookies like contraband, and the security guard gave him a thumbs up. Meanwhile, Arya walked in on Ethan doing the tango with a mop. What are you doing? She asked, arms crossed, lips twitching. Winning hearts. Yours is next. It's in the rulebook, page 63. She snatched the mop. The rulebook has 38 pages. Ah, so you did read it. She fought a smile. She lost. Later, Arya found a cookie hidden under her phone with a note. Cookie therapy. Dr. Cruz recommends 3 per day. She bit into it. Soft, sweet. Like something was changing. Arya's ex-boyfriend looked like a catalog model who sold cologne and heartbreak in equal measure. His name? Julian Vale. His vibe? Expensive betrayal. He walked into Stone Tech's lobby like he owned it, and Arya's past. Ethan was busy, charming the front desk staff with magic tricks involving mints, when Julian strolled up beside him. You must be the charity case she married, Julian said with a smile that should have come with a warning label. Ethan blinked. You must be the Bond villain she left at the altar. Julian smirked. Cute. I came to check if the rumors were true. What rumors? That Arya married an unemployed animal lover who got fired from a dog cafe? Ethan leaned in, whispering, Okay, first of all, those poodles were judgmental. Back upstairs, Arya was reviewing contracts when Julian entered, uninvited. I don't remember approving ghosts from Christmas past, she said coldly. I just wanted to meet your husband and congratulate the happy couple. He's fascinating. Arya narrowed her eyes. Stay away from him. Julian smiled. "Oh, I won't need to. Once I dig deep enough, he'll trip on his own past." Later, Ethan found Arya by the window, jaw tight. "He's not worth it," Ethan said gently. She didn't answer. He added, "But I am." Ethan stood in front of a floor-length mirror, staring at himself in a tux worth more than his college debt. "Why is this suit so tight? Is it tailored or trying to suffocate me into success?" he asked. Arya didn't flinch. "It's couture. Stand still, and try not to faint in front of a Forbes list." It was StoneTech's annual investor summit, the Oscars of corporate ego. Billionaires, shareholders, journalists, and one very bored Ethan. "Just smile, wave, and say nothing," Arya instructed. "And for the love of Wi-Fi, no dad jokes." "Copy that," Ethan saluted. Operation Trophy Husband commencing. At the summit, Arya delivered a killer keynote. Investors nodded. Her board even smiled. Cameras flashed. Then came the surprise. "Joining me on stage," the host beamed, "Mr. Ethan Cruz, husband to our brilliant CEO." Arya's eyes widened. Worried, he's not supposed to speak. But Ethan was already at the mic. "So, I was told I'd be here to look pretty," he began. "But I figure if I'm standing next to a genius, I might as well say something dumb to balance it out." Nervous laughter. He added, "StoneTech isn't just powerful because of what it builds. It's powerful because of who leads it, my wife. And believe me, she's the boss at home, too." The crowd roared. Arya covered her face, half horror, half blush. It was past midnight when Arya got home from an investor gala. She wandered into the dimly lit TV room, where the soft hum of a rom-com and the rustle of popcorn greeted her. Ethan was sprawled on the couch in a hoodie, one sock missing, holding a popcorn bowl like it owed him rent. "You watch movies at 1 a.m.? He flipped popcorn over himself, startled. "You sneak around like a cat burglar at 1 a.m.? She raised a brow. "Ugh, what is this?" "The Princess Bride, classic. Sword fights, true love, questionable fashion." She hesitated. Then, quietly, sat down beside him. Thunder rumbled outside. Her posture stiffened. "You okay?" he asked. "No," she said too quickly, then added, "It's just storms." A beat passed. "When I was 8, she said softly, "my mom left during one. I waited all night. Since then, storms just don't feel like weather anymore." Ethan sat beside her, careful, close but not too close. "That sucks." She blinked at him. "Sorry," he said. "I don't do well with emotional monologues, but I'm here. If you need someone to make bad tea or worse jokes." A long pause. Then, very slowly, she leaned her head on his shoulder. "You're not completely useless," she muttered. He grinned. "High praise from the Ice Queen." 3 months later, Ethan had learned to tie a Windsor knot, pronounce portfolio diversification, and even stop calling Charles the butler Lord Latte. Life in CEO land was almost routine, until the 8 a.m. news alert shattered everything. Breaking, StoneTech hit by data breach, CEO's husband under investigation. Ethan, groggy and mid-toast bite, nearly choked. "What?" By 8:03, Arya was in war mode at StoneTech. On a video call with Ethan, lawyers circling and her stare sharp enough to slice steel. "Someone used your login," she said, eyes unreadable. "The leak traced back to your system." "Now, I didn't do it, Arya. You know I didn't," Ethan stated simply. She didn't respond, just stared at the tablet showing his name splashed across every financial blog on Earth. Charles peeked into the video, whispering, "Should I cancel your breakfast mimosas, sir?" Ethan cracked a hollow smile. "Might want to cancel my pulse while you're at it." The board demanded a suspension. Julian, smug as ever, offered PR support. Arya stood silent in the conference room, watching Ethan's image on the projector like it might betray her. Finally, she turned to her assistant. "Clear my afternoon." "Should I schedule a divorce?" She glanced out the window. "No, I'm going to fix this." By 9:45 a.m., Ethan had already been labeled a criminal, a gold digger, and, his personal favorite, a walking IT glitch by morning tabloids. He paced outside StoneTech HQ, disheveled, holding a sad little tie and even sadder hope. Inside, Arya was prepping for the press conference. "She'll choose logic," he muttered. "She always does." Then the doors opened, and the cameras flashed like Judgment Day had arrived in designer heels. Arya stepped up to the mic. A reporter shouted, "Is it true your husband leaked company secrets?" She looked directly into the cameras. "No." Murmurs rose. "Mr. Cruz is being framed," she continued, "and frankly, I'm insulted that anyone believes I'd marry a man dumb enough to use his own login for corporate espionage." Laughter erupted. "Next question." Another reporter. "But you've barely known him for long enough to know he prefers orange juice over coffee and cries during Pixar movies. He doesn't know how to find his own socks, let alone hack a billion-dollar company." Behind the curtain, Ethan blinked. Did she just roast me in my defense? Arya finished. "I stand by my husband. He's innocent, and this witch hunt ends. Now." 6 p.m. sharp. The front door clicked shut behind them. Ethan kicked off his shoes like a man escaping prison. "We survived the media. Should we throw a party or cry into ice cream?" Arya, surprisingly quiet, walked ahead. "I don't do either." Later, Arya found him in the living room wearing flannel pajama pants, a StoneTech hoodie, and holding out a mug. "Chamomile for your stress and your terrifying bone structure?" She took it, amused. "Is this a peace offering?" "It's a maybe I like you and don't know what to do about it offering." A beat passed. The tension wasn't loud, it was soft, curling like steam between them. They sat on the couch. Too close, not close enough. "You defended me when you could have walked away," Ethan said softly. "I used to think caring about someone was weakness," Arya whispered. "Now I think maybe I was wrong." He reached for her hand. She didn't pull away. Their faces inched closer, breath caught, and just before their lips met, her phone buzzed. "Security alert. System breach. Source identified." Arya didn't sleep. While Ethan snored under a blanket that technically belonged to her designer dog, she was in the home office, eyes bloodshot, mind razor sharp. The security alert had a name, and it wasn't Ethan's. It was Julian Vale, the charming, smug CEO of Zenith Corp, her biggest rival, her ex-almost husband, and now, apparently, the man trying to sink her company. By 9 a.m., she was storming into his downtown office with stilettos that screamed war. "Wow," Julian drawled. "No breakfast? No hug? Not even a good morning, trader?" "Cut the crap," Arya snapped, slamming down the evidence. "You framed my husband." Julian smiled. "Fake husband." Her heart stuttered. "What? Oh, come on, darling. Marriage contract, secret clauses, zero chemistry. Did you really think no one would find out?" He leaned closer. "I didn't even need a hacker. Just a wedding planner with a loose tongue and Wi-Fi." Arya's nails dug into her palm. "Why?" He shrugged. "Simple. If the media finds out you faked a marriage to secure board power, StoneTech goes up in smoke. Or down in flames, your choice." Arya stood in the abandoned conference hall of the Zenith Corp headquarters. Back straight, jaw sharp. Julian Vale circled like a snake in a custom suit. "Last chance, Arya. Resign or the world sees that marriage contract." She stared him down. "Do your worst." He blinked. "Excuse me?" "I said go public. Tell the media. Write a blog post, print t-shirts, hell, sing it on national TV. I'm not resigning." Julian's smile faltered. "You think you're stronger now?" She stepped forward. "No, I know I am." His face darkened. In a blink, he grabbed her wrist, too tight. "You always needed taming." Arya jerked back and slapped him. "Don't touch me!" He raised his hand, rage overtaking charm. She gasped and then, crash! The main entrance burst open. Ethan, breathless, furious, holding a fire extinguisher like Thor's hammer. "Step away from my wife!" Julian turned, just in time to catch a flying fire extinguisher to the chest. She looked up, eyes wide. "How did you left without coffee. You never leave without coffee." He smiled, pulling her close. "I followed my gut and my Google Maps." Julian Vale was dragged away by the police, still yelling, "This isn't over, Arya! You can't get the better of me!" Ethan waved. "Bro, it's not a competition, but also, she already has." Back home, Arya sat on the couch, wrapped in a blanket. Ethan brought her tea, his specialty. It tasted like hot socks. She coughed. "What is this?" "Therapeutic herb stuff. I Googled it. Might also be a foot soak." Despite herself, she laughed. "You are a walking disaster." "And yet," he said, perching beside her, "I just saved your life with a fire extinguisher." She looked at him. Really looked. Not the fake husband, not the pizza addict, not the accidental roommate, but a man who showed up, over and over again. "Why did you come?" she asked softly. He shrugged. "You're my wife." "Contractually," she teased. "Emotionally," he replied. Silence, warm, buzzing. Arya reached out and straightened his crooked collar. "You're still terrible at fashion." He grinned. "You're still terrifying." She smiled and hugged him, and something in her chest shifted. It had been exactly 1 year. 12 months of stage smiles, corporate galas, almost kisses, and the world's weirdest cohabitation dynamic. A successful venture. After Julian's arrest, the board was firmly pro-Arya. And now, the contract lay on the table. A single sheet of paper with one sentence in bold. "Marriage agreement concludes on this day, effective immediately." Arya stared at it like it was a breakup text, written by a lawyer. Ethan sat across from her, playing with a pen that didn't click. "So, that's it?" "Apparently." "Cool. Great. Totally fine." He nodded, too fast. "Should we high-five? Do we divorce? Is there a checklist for fake marriage endings?" Arya didn't laugh. Neither did Ethan. Silence. Thick. Heavy. "Do you want to move out?" she asked softly. He looked up. "Do you want me to?" Her throat caught. "I don't know." He smiled gently. "Then I'll stay, as long as you want me." They didn't sign the paper. They didn't talk about it again. But that night, she fell asleep on the couch beside him. No pretenses, no contracts, just two people tangled up in something terrifyingly real. StoneTech's annual press conference had never trended worldwide, until today. Arya stood at the podium in a sharp white suit, looking like she could buy Mars and sell it back, with interest. Reporters packed the room, expecting announcements, projections, maybe a merger. What they got was this. "I'm taking some time off. I've met someone special," she said calmly. Hugh gasps, phones dropped. Ethan, in the front row, nearly choked on his complimentary mint. The media surged forward. "Who is he? Is it a secret affair? What about your husband?" Ethan blinked. Wait, was she doing this? She didn't meet his gaze. No further questions. The room erupted. Backstage, Arya waited for Ethan to burst in. In her hand were 2 one-way tickets to Machu Picchu. This was the first romantic thing she'd ever done. But he never came. He wasn't even in the venue. His phone was switched off. Distraught, Arya burst into their penthouse. "Where is he?" she demanded. Charles, the butler, was very sorry, but Sir had left in a hurry. All that was left was a sticky note on the fridge. Didn't want to make it weird. I hope he loves you back. E. Arya stared at it like it had personally insulted her. Didn't want to make it weird? She muttered. This is literally the weirdest thing he's done. She called. Still switched off. She checked his room. Half empty. She told herself it didn't matter. Then she opened the kitchen cabinet and found his ridiculous mint chocolate cereal still there. That's when she sat down and cried. Like a woman who had just lost more than a roommate. Charles peeked in. Should I prepare legal action? Against whom? His cereal. She laughed, then hiccuped, then whispered, Charles, I think I messed up. She stood, clutching her phone, scrolling through photos of Ethan. Him in an apron, him wearing one of her face masks, him grinning like an idiot. Her idiot. Didn't want to make it weird. I hope he loves you back. E. Arya reread the note for the 100th time. If it had a face, she'd sue it for emotional damage. How? She muttered, pacing her penthouse in tiger-printed socks. She was done crying. She was going to find him. Where? Is he at his terrible gym? His friend's house? A forest commune? Charles entered with coffee and calm. The board is ready, ma'am. She froze. Right. Step 1, face the music. 10 minutes later, Arya stood in front of her board, every suit in the room holding their breath. 1 year ago, I lied, she said. Our marriage started as a contract, but somewhere between staged photo ops, fake vows, and his absurd cereal, I fell in love. Are you going to step down? Asked a board member. Arya rolled her eyes. I did a fake marriage to prove to you that I am capable of running this company. Now I'm going to marry for real, to show myself that I'm capable of running my life. A moment of silence, then cheers rose. Arya smiled and whispered, almost to herself. As soon as I find him, that is. Meeting adjourned, Arya announced. Oh, and someone please update my relationship status on the company website to It's Complicated. That evening, Ethan sat alone, talking to Bounty, the Shih Tzu looking like a romantic tragedy in discount denim at the pet cafe. Funny place to run away, Arya said, sliding into the stool beside him. He blinked. I thought you'd pick the airport. I almost did, she shrugged. But then I remembered you like bad lighting and stale pretzels. Pause. It's you. I love you, you dummy, she said. No contracts, no cameras, just me being a total idiot with surprises. Who let you run away? He stared. Are you drunk? Nope, but I might get drunk if you say no. Then she pulled out a vending machine ring and popped the question. Ethan Cruz. When I first laid eyes on you, I pictured you dying under my car. In your eyes, I see the faces of our children, our future. To the world, I might be CEO. But today, I make you CEO of my heart. I love you, my darling, and I'll be with you forever. Will you be my husband? For real this time? He grinned, grabbed the ring, and slipped it on with mock elegance. Only if I get full control of the cereal shelf. They kissed. The cafe cheered, Bounty barked, a penguin sticker fell from her purse, and somewhere, Gerald from Legal updated Arya's status on the company website to married. Joyfully, stupidly, actually married. The end.